That's right. All right, we are only 5 days away from this election, y'all. So many people are excited about getting out to vote. The president was at the rally last night, and he said to the crowd, you know, how many of y'all have voted? It was basically the whole room. He's like, all right, I don't even need to be here then.
Yeah, he had a familiar theme. He added a new one. The new one is about birthright citizenship, and he believes he's got the right issue there, something else to let people understand where he stands. He's concerned about the caravan. There's now 3 coming our direction. Let's listen to a little of the president.
Democrats want to erase our prosperity and reverse our progress. Democrats want open borders, and they want to invite caravan after caravan into our country, which brings crime upon crime. A vote for Democrats is a vote to liquidate America's borders. But we're getting prepared for the caravan, folks. You don't have to worry about that. And the Democrats want to continue giving automatic birthright citizenship. Congress has never passed a law requiring birthright citizenship for illegal aliens. Illegal aliens are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States.
Well, of course, in addition to just mobilizing Republicans and independents to vote for their candidates, he was really trying to push Rick Scott, who's running against Senator Nelson.
In a flat-footed tie right now.
Yeah, it is. And Ron DeSantis, who is a little behind, according to the Real Clear Politics average. He said of Mr. DeSantis, he will continue what Governor Scott began Florida's economy in one of the hottest states in the nation. Mr. DeSantis was on with us about 50 minutes ago, and he thanks the president for coming to Florida.
I think we're succeeding in mobilizing folks, and I think the president coming to Florida is helping that. So we feel really good about what's going on. And part of it is I think Floridians understand that there's a real significant choice here for the direction of our state. I'm going to build off the success we've had. Our economy's going well. We need to continue that and expand upon it. Andrew Gillum, the guy I'm running against, wants a 40% tax increase, which will cost jobs, cause businesses to leave Florida, and prevent what could be a historic flow of investment into Florida over the next several years.
And, of course, what he brought up last night is the fact there's an FBI investigation into Mayor Gilliam. He also, yesterday, this story came out. Gilliam is being investigated for using city funds for private travel. Documents show this in his latest finance release, using city funds, private round trips on a developer's plane to meet with campaign donors, contradicting his account on previous flights. Emails released earlier this week are all part of a state ethics probe. So Gilliam had great momentum coming out of his primary. But the more you look at his record, you realize what he has moving forward. If he didn't have that great charisma and presence, I would think that someone with this type of background would have fallen flat in his face by now.
Well, he has, Mr. Gillum has denied those charges, obviously. Meanwhile, as you look at some of the battleground states that where whoever is currently a senator is hanging in the balance, you can see that the president's approval rating, those are the numbers below the states, are all above 50%. In North Dakota, he's at 61. Tennessee, almost 60. Missouri, about 55. Arizona and Indiana, closer to 50. But nonetheless, it's going to help the candidates who are running for Senate in those states.
That's why some of those Democratic candidates are trying to be more moderate now and saying they're not so far left because they're in these states that the president did really well.
Yeah.
Is doing well.
One of the things the president said last night in Florida about Rick Scott, who's battling Senator Bill Nelson, he praised him for his response to Hurricane Michael, and he also praised him for getting money to build a reservoir south of Lake Okeechobee to reduce the discharges on the east and the west coast, because down in Florida, the environment is of special interest. People hate the red tide and the green algae.
It's just amazing that also the mayor of Tallahassee is going to run, and he's basically said, I cannot wait to get there and raise taxes because I want to have Medicare for all. So this is it's for Ron DeSantis. He wants to get on message, but he also wants to point out how different the state will look if he loses.
Well, the president, he said, this is what Republicans want. They don't want crime. They don't want chaos. They don't want caravans. He said the Democrats, they want open borders. And if we continue to do that, if we push open borders, then one caravan after another is going to come in. He talked about the economy, and he said, if you're better off now than you were 2 years ago, then vote Republican. Listen to this.
tax cuts, and other things that we have within the reform bill. And the end result is we have an economy that's the hottest economy right now in the world. And I guess the stock market is up to getting close to 50%. If you think about it, that's incredible since the election. They're waiting for the results of the midterms. And if the midterms, for some reason, don't do so well for Republicans, I think you're all going to lose a lot of money. I hate to say that. I think you're going to lose a lot of money. People are waiting on your 401ks and everything else. They're waiting to see what happens with the midterms. If it comes out good, I think the market's going to continue to go through a period that, like we've never seen before.
One of the other things the president said last night at the rally was if Andrew Gillum down in Florida becomes the governor, he said he would take Florida's red-hot economy and turn it into a Venezuela-like recession.
Well, there is a lot of things. A lot of his programs are socialist-oriented. One other thing that Stuart Varney brought up, the reason why the market went up yesterday, they think that there's a sense maybe among investors that the Republicans might hold on to the House and Senate. That was what Stuart was saying. Here's what he said about wages and where it's heading.
Surely the economy and prosperity is the key issue that you run on in any election. You punch it up there. We're prosperous, we're growing, we're dynamic, we've got jobs, we've got prosperity. I think President Trump should take a bow. He did that. He's running the country like he's running a business, and it's working.
So what are the big issues to you going into the midterms? Email us, friends@foxnews.com, or you can tweet us or Facebook.
I thought Republicans would say economy. When we were out on Fox Square a few days ago, many of them said immigration because we're watching the images of the caravan. But I think both of those two issues are big for Republicans.
But you know when you go out on Fox Square at that address, you know what happens. You get a wide swath of opinions every time we go.